Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Mr. Holland Park 313. Just want to touch on the next game for the Detroit Lions, which is against the New York Giants. You know, one thing that you can really appreciate about the NFL is it's not like any other league. You know, you look at the NBA, you have 82 games. The NHL, you have 82 games. You have the Major League Baseball. I think that's 162 games. And so with that being the case, there's a room for error. You know what I'm saying? NBA, you can go on a 10-game loser streak. You can go on a 15-game loser streak and still make the playoffs. You know, you can go on a 11-game loser streak, plus, you know, or in the Major League Baseball, or lose more than that and still make the playoffs. And the same thing with the NHL. You know what I'm saying? And NBA, you can make the playoffs below 500 in some cases, especially in the Eastern Conference. But what makes the NFL so unique is it's only 16 games. So with that being the case, every game is critical. You know, you can't lose 5-6 games in a row because your chances of making the playoffs diminish dramatically. I mean, for real. So with that being the case, the Lions have a very big game coming up. Every game is critical, you know, especially for an up-and-coming team like, you know, like the Lions. Big game coming up in Minnesota. But the Giants in New York. Tough road game, especially during prime time. Now we we had to play them last year on the road and didn't really go too well. But I think that this is a much better team that we have this year, and I think that we are more than capable of going there and pulling off a W. And if we do that, I think it'll be big. The reasons I think it'll be big because I think that our division opponents are coincidentally all on the road, just like ourselves, and they have tough road games. Green Bay has to go to Atlanta, and we already know how that happened. What happened last time that happened when they went there in the playoffs. Minnesota has to go to Pittsburgh, which is very tough to win at, especially with that defense and, you know, explosive offense they can be in Pittsburgh. And Minnesota has to, not Minnesota, but Chicago has to go to Tampa Bay, and that's going to be their home opener. So they're going to be already pumped up, you know, for that. You know, especially with the, you know, the tragic devastation that's been going on there in Florida with the hurricanes and everything. So, you know, their fans will be ready to go. They're going to be ready to go, and the Bears look like they're going to be much of a competition for anybody this year. So with that being the case, let's put this in a hypothetical sense. Let's say everybody else lose in our division. We had the chance to go up first place if we take care of our business. You know, I honestly think that all our division opponents are going to lose their games. I mean, I just see that because they're all tough road games. They have places that's very tough to win on the road. Now, granted, we haven't had the most success in New York, but I think that we have to come out early. That's one thing. It's always good to have a quarterback or a team that has resiliency and it can bounce back in the third quarter or fourth quarter when they're down. However, you never want to get in the habit of just always having to come back. We need to get in the rhythm and get in the rhythm early. And I think if we do that, we'll be in great shape. Also, I think it's very critical that we get a running game going, especially against a good defense like New York. You want to keep teams like that off balance. If you become one-dimensional, tough teams with good defenses are going to be really hard to beat if we become one-dimensional and always have to rely on the pass. So we got to get Stafford some help. If we get someone of a decent running game going, they can take a lot of pressure off him, and that keep defenses off balance. So that'd be very critical. I think, as a matter of fact, that's going to be essential to our success moving forward, is getting some type of running game going. Amir Abdullah had 30 yards on 15 carries, and that's something won't get it done. I mean, seriously. I think Stafford had a longer run than he did in that game. And when your quarterback is breaking off longer runs than you are, that tends to be a problem. So that's something that definitely has to change. The defense got to keep up the momentum. I thought that we kind of struggled because our lack of depth, especially when we lost Kerry Hyder. But the defense really surprised me. I mean, not just the defensive line, the secondary. The defensive line was getting pressured and pushed up the middle, and that kind of helped out the secondary as well. And the secondary doing a good job of coverage, which gives the defensive line time to pressure and get to the quarterback. You know, Anthony Zettel, A'Shawn Robinson, we had Gerard Davis, who had a fumble recovery. You know, everybody contributed. You know, so that's the type of, you know, effort we need every game. Not only from a defensive standpoint, but offensive as well. If we come together as a collective unit, both offensively and defensively, we're going to be a very, very tough team to beat. And I think this team is more than capable of it. So obviously, we clearly need Taylor Decker back. The offensive line didn't do terrible, but I think that his absence is clearly evident out there. So hopefully he come back healthy and gets into rhythm with everybody else. And I think once that happens, that would be a big boost for the offense. But anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. Also make that quick video. Detroit versus everybody. Shout out to y'all, DVE, my DVE crew, as always. Mr. Holland Park 313, and I get at y'all later.